The night shift at Helios Academy was always quiet. Rows of glowing hallways stretched across the research section, filled with soft hums of machines. The janitor, Aaron, pushed his cleaning cart through the corridor, humming a small tune to stay awake. He was an ordinary man in an extraordinary place. The academy was not a school for humans. It was an interspecies institution, built to train young aliens with gifts beyond imagination. Aaron was the only human worker allowed inside its walls. Most of the staff ignored him. Some looked down on him because humans were known as the weakest species in the Galactic Union. But Aaron never complained. He cleaned the glass floors, fixed the vents, and made sure every classroom was spotless before morning. One night, when the halls were empty, Aaron heard a soft sound from the medical wing. It was a quiet whimper, like a child holding back tears. He paused, frowning. The medical wing was supposed to be locked. He set aside his mop and walked toward the sound. Behind a half-open door, he found a small figure sitting on a bed. The room lights were dim, but Aaron could see enough. The figure was a little girl, maybe 8 or 9 years old, with silver-blue skin and faint glowing lines running down her arms. She turned her head as if she sensed him, though her eyes did not focus on him. "Hello there," Aaron said softly. "Are you all right?" The girl did not answer at first. She tilted her head slightly. "Who is there?" Her voice was calm but unsure. "My name is Aaron," he replied. "I work here." "I was just cleaning." Her small hands clenched the blanket. "I am Lyra. My mother says I am blind." Aaron stepped closer and noticed something strange. Her eyes were not dull or cloudy. They were clear, but they shimmered faintly as if light itself lived within them. He had seen many alien species before, but none quite like her. "Blind, huh?" he said gently. "That must be hard," Lyra nodded. "I can hear people walking. I can feel air moving, but I cannot see." Aaron sat on a nearby stool. "Maybe you see in a way others don't." The girl tilted her head again. "What do you mean?" Aaron smiled. "Sometimes people think something is broken when it is only different." At that moment, the door slid open. A tall alien woman stepped in. Her skin was the same silver-blue shade as Lyra's, though darker. Her eyes glowed faintly, showing her authority. She looked surprised to see a human inside. "What are you doing here, human?" she asked sharply. Aaron stood quickly and bowed slightly. "Apologies, ma'am. I heard someone crying. I thought maybe someone needed help." The woman's tone softened only a little. "This is my daughter. She does not need your help. You may go." Aaron nodded and backed away, but as he left, he saw something the mother did not. When the lights flickered above them for a brief second, Lyra's head turned toward the ceiling instantly, following the pulse of light perfectly. He froze. A thought struck him. If she were truly blind, how did she react to light? Back in the hallway, Aaron leaned against his cart and took a deep breath. He had seen something strange, something that made no sense. But he decided not to say anything yet. It was none of his business. He was just a janitor. Still, the image of the little girl stayed with him all night. He finished his shift and went home to his small apartment on the edge of the city. His own daughter, Mina, was already asleep on the couch. She was only 10 and had grown used to her father's late-night work. Aaron brushed her hair softly and smiled. "Sleep well, kiddo," he whispered. The next day, Aaron returned to work. He passed through the main hall where alien cadets floated books with telekinetic power, or bent light into shapes as part of their lessons. The air buzzed with energy. To them, humans were just ordinary cleaners. But Aaron had long learned to ignore the looks. During his lunch break, he went back toward the medical wing. The memory of Lyra's strange eyes still bothered him. He hesitated near the door, wondering if it was wrong to check again. Then he heard laughter inside. The sound made him smile. He peeked in. Lyra was sitting on the floor this time, holding a small cube that emitted different colored lights. She turned it carefully in her hands. Every time it flashed, she blinked and smiled, following the colors without fail. Aaron frowned. A blind child could not do that. He stepped inside slowly. "Hey, Lyra," he said softly. She looked up and smiled faintly. "Aaron the cleaner," she said, recognizing his voice. He chuckled. "That's me. What are you doing with that cube?" "I like the light," she said. "It makes shapes. I can see the shapes now. I could not before. Who gave you the cube?" "My mother. She said it helps me learn color. But I do not understand why I see it now." Aaron sat beside her and watched as the cube shimmered again. He noticed that when the light shifted to blue, her pupils expanded slightly. When it turned red, they shrank. She was reacting perfectly to light. That confirmed his suspicion. "Lyra," he said carefully, "what if you are not blind at all?" The girl tilted her head. "But my mother said my eyes were damaged when I was born." "Maybe they are not damaged," Aaron replied. "Maybe they are different. Maybe you see something that others cannot." Before Lyra could answer, the door opened again. Her mother entered, holding a datapad. Her expression darkened when she saw Aaron there once more. "I told you to stay away," she said. Aaron stood up quickly. "I am sorry. I only came because she seemed alone." "I think she might—" "Enough," the woman interrupted. "You are not trained in alien biology. You are a human janitor. You do not know what you are saying." Aaron nodded respectfully and left again, but his mind was racing. That night, while sweeping the outer corridor, he passed a row of diagnostic terminals used by scientists. Out of curiosity, he accessed one of the public logs. He searched for Lyra's species. Their name appeared in glowing letters: the Cellerans. He read through their physiology reports. It said that Cellerans perceive the electromagnetic spectrum differently. They see energy instead of light. In rare cases, young Cellerans born near high radiation fields could have unstable sensory pathways that confuse visual signals. If not treated properly, their bodies might suppress the visual sense entirely. Aaron leaned closer. The notes mentioned something else, something hidden in the technical details. Energy saturation therapy can restore normal perception if interference is removed. That made his heart race. Maybe Lyra was not blind. Maybe her brain was protecting her from energy overload. The next day, Aaron decided to test his theory. While cleaning the hall, he borrowed a small maintenance scanner that emitted low electromagnetic waves. When he walked past Lyra's room, he turned it on quietly. Inside, Lyra turned her head toward him immediately, even though she could not hear him from that distance. She smiled faintly as the scanner pulsed. She was sensing it. That confirmed everything. Later that evening, when the academy lights dimmed for night mode, Aaron went back to the room once more. Lyra was awake, sitting near the window. He spoke gently. "Lyra, I think I know why you cannot see." Her voice was soft. "You do?" "Yes, your body can sense too much. It hides the light so you do not get hurt. It is not blindness. It is protection." She looked confused. "Then how can I stop it?" Aaron thought for a moment. Maybe by learning to control it, not by blocking it. Before they could speak more, the door opened suddenly. Lyra's mother entered again, but this time she looked frightened, not angry. She held a medical scanner glowing red. "She is reacting again," the woman said. "Her energy levels are rising." Lyra groaned softly, holding her head. Aaron saw her glowing lines brighten dangerously. He acted on instinct. He reached out and touched her hand. The glow slowed instantly, stabilizing. The scanner beeped in surprise. The mother stared in shock. "What did you do?" Aaron shook his head. "I do not know. Maybe humans ground energy differently." For a long moment, silence filled the room. Lyra opened her eyes again and smiled weakly. "I can see light again," she whispered. The mother looked between them, confusion and disbelief on her face. Aaron had no idea what he had just done, but he knew one thing for sure. The child was never blind. Something had been blocking her senses, and somehow his touch had stopped it. As the mother turned toward the control panel to record the data, Aaron looked at the little girl's glowing eyes. For the first time, they focused clearly on him, and deep inside those eyes he saw a reflection of himself, surrounded by a faint ring of golden light. Whatever had happened was only the beginning. The next morning, the entire Helios Academy buzzed with quiet tension. Something unusual had happened in the medical wing during the night. Rumors spread quickly between the alien staff. Some said the blind Celleran child had opened her eyes for the first time. Others whispered that the human janitor had done something impossible. Aaron tried to keep his head down. He cleaned the lower decks as usual, but he could feel eyes watching him. When he walked past a group of alien technicians, their conversation stopped. He knew they were talking about him. He did not like attention. He had only wanted to help the little girl. By noon, he was called to the medical wing. When he entered, Lyra sat quietly on the bed while her mother stood beside two researchers. One of them, a tall insectoid being with silver wings, looked at Aaron curiously. "You are the human who touched the child last night," the being said. "We want to understand what happened." Aaron nodded slowly. "I only touched her hand because she was in pain." Then her glow stopped. "I did nothing else." The insectoid tilted his head. "The sensors recorded a sudden drop in unstable energy when you made contact. It is as if your presence stabilized her frequency." "I do not understand this science," Aaron admitted. "I just saw she needed help." Lyra smiled softly. "When he touched me, everything stopped hurting. The light stopped spinning. Then I could see his face." Her mother looked at Aaron with mixed feelings. "You may have saved her from overload, human." "I do not know how, but you did." Aaron looked at the child. "How do you feel now, Lyra?" "I can see again, but not like others. I see light moving in shapes. When you come near, the light becomes calm. It feels warm." The room fell silent. The scientists exchanged quick glances. The insectoid finally said, "We will need to observe this. Human contact may interact with Celeran energy differently." Aaron nodded again, feeling out of place. He excused himself and returned to his work, but his thoughts were not quiet. He could not forget her words. She could see him not just with her eyes, but through light itself. That night, when most of the academy slept, Aaron stayed behind to clean the upper corridors. He saw a faint reflection in one of the glass panels, a small figure watching him from the corner. It was Lyra, wrapped in a blanket. He walked toward her. "Lyra, you should not be out this late," she smiled. "I wanted to see the lights again. They change when you are near." Aaron sighed gently. "You are supposed to rest." "I will, but please walk with me a little," she said quietly. He hesitated, then nodded. Together they walked through the dim corridors. The moonlight from the tall windows reflected on the floors. Lyra reached out with her hands, feeling the air. "The air is soft here," she said. "At home the light always felt heavy. Mother says our world has too much radiation. Maybe that is why I could not see." Aaron listened carefully. "Maybe your body was trying to protect you from that light." She nodded. "When I came here, everything was quieter, but still bright. Then I met you and the light stopped hurting." He looked down at her. "Maybe humans give off something different. Maybe it helps." They stopped near a large window that overlooked the academy courtyard. Small lights floated in the distance like tiny stars. Lyra stared at them, eyes wide. "They are beautiful," she whispered. Aaron smiled. "They are cleaning drones. Not as pretty when you are close," she giggled. "Still, I can see them. That makes them beautiful." Their peaceful moment was interrupted when the sound of footsteps echoed down the hall. Lyra's mother appeared, looking both worried and relieved. "Lyra, there you are," she said. "You should be resting." "I am sorry, Mother," Lyra replied softly. "I just wanted to see the lights." The mother turned to Aaron. "Thank you for watching her, but please understand that her condition is delicate. The scientist will study what happened. We must be careful." Aaron nodded. "Of course. I did not mean to cause trouble." As they walked away, Lyra looked back and waved. "Good night, Aaron." He waved back, but a quiet worry filled his chest. The researchers wanted to study her reaction to him. He feared they might treat her like an experiment instead of a child. Over the next few days, the academy's mood grew more tense. The scientists held private meetings. Aaron noticed new equipment being brought into the medical section. Once he caught a glimpse of Lyra sitting in a chair surrounded by glowing scanners while her mother stood nearby, expression cold and distant. That night, when everyone had gone, Aaron slipped quietly into the storage area beside the lab. Through a narrow window, he saw them running tests. The scientists were increasing energy around Lyra to study her reactions. Each time the lights grew stronger, she winced. Her small body trembled under the glow. Aaron clenched his fists. He wanted to stop it, but knew he had no right to interfere. Still, when Lyra's mother turned away to check data, he saw Lyra's lips move. She whispered something. "Aaron," she mouthed silently. He felt his heart twist. She needed him. The next morning, Aaron could not focus on his work. He cleaned floors without seeing them. His mind was full of worry. Later, while fixing a vent near the lab, he overheard two scientists talking. "The human's biofield neutralizes the Celeran overcharge," one said. "If that is true, we can use him for stabilization tests," the other replied. Aaron froze. They wanted to use him like a tool. That evening, when he finished his shift, he made a decision. He went back to the medical wing to see Lyra. The door was locked, but he had access for cleaning. He entered quietly. Lyra was awake. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "You came," she said softly. I had to, Aaron replied. They are running too many tests on you. Are you all right? She shook her head. They say it is to help me see better, but the light burns sometimes. Aaron sat beside her bed. You should rest. You do not need to prove anything. Lyra looked up at him. When I see you, I see calm light. Maybe that means I am not sick. He smiled gently. You are not sick. You are special. They sat quietly for a moment. Then she asked, Do you have a child? Yes, he said. A daughter named Mina. She is about your age. Lyra smiled. She is lucky. You are kind. Aaron looked down, feeling a small ache in his chest. I try my best. Suddenly the door opened again. Lyra's mother stood there, eyes sharp. What are you doing here again? Aaron stood quickly. I was just checking on her. She needs rest, not your interference, the woman said firmly. Before he could reply, Lyra spoke softly. Mother, please do not be angry. He helps me. The mother hesitated. Her eyes softened for a moment. Then she turned away. Fine, but the tests continue tomorrow. The council wants results. When she left, Aaron looked at Lyra and said quietly, I will find a way to stop this. That night, he could not sleep. He thought of his own daughter. If someone hurt her in the name of science, he would never forgive it. He knew he had to do something. The next day, he visited the maintenance bay and found old shielding equipment used for radiation work. He repaired a few pieces and carried them secretly to the medical wing after hours. His plan was simple. He would block the high-energy lights that caused Lyra pain. He waited until everyone left the lab. Then he sneaked inside. Lyra was asleep, connected to a soft energy monitor. He placed the shields carefully around her bed. When the scanners started their routine tests, the lights dimmed instantly. The machines beeped in confusion. Lyra stirred, then smiled in her sleep. The glowing lines on her arms faded to a calm silver. Aaron sighed with relief. He knew the scientists would notice something wrong with the readings in the morning, but at least she would rest peacefully tonight. As he turned to leave, a soft voice spoke. You did this for me? Lyra was awake, looking at him with gentle eyes. Yes, Aaron said. You deserve peace, she smiled. Thank you. He walked out quietly, unaware that someone was watching from the security room. Lyra's mother stood before the monitor, eyes wide with surprise. She saw everything, the human placing shields, the way her daughter's energy stabilized, the calm light in her glow. For the first time, the mother began to doubt everything she had been told by the scientists. The next morning, when the researchers entered and checked the data, they were puzzled. The readings showed perfect stability through the night. They demanded to know what had changed, but no one could explain. Later that day, Lyra's mother called Aaron to her office. You helped her again, did you not? She asked quietly. Aaron nodded. I did. The tests were hurting her. I could not watch it happen. The woman sighed. You should not have interfered, but I cannot deny that she is better now. I saw it with my own eyes. Aaron looked at her carefully. Maybe she does not need more tests. Maybe she needs to learn control in peace. Her voice softened. Perhaps you are right. But if the council learns of this, they will not stop. They want to understand why a human can affect Celeran energy. Aaron frowned. Then we must protect her. The mother hesitated. Would you help me do that? He nodded. Whatever it takes. For the first time, she smiled faintly. Then we will keep her gift hidden. Lyra's eyes sparkled with gentle light as they spoke outside the office. She did not understand all their words, but she could see the shapes of their auras blending in harmony. For the first time in her life, the light around her felt safe. She did not know what the future held, but deep inside, she felt something new growing, a bond between human and Celeran that might change everything. The next few days at Helios Academy passed under a calm surface, but tension moved quietly beneath it. Aaron continued his work as if nothing had changed. He cleaned the floors, fixed small machines, and avoided eye contact with the scientists. Yet every time he passed the medical wing, he felt Lyra's presence. Sometimes she waved through the glass wall. Sometimes she sent a small smile that gave him strength to continue. Her mother, Dr. Sarah, kept a close watch on everything. She no longer spoke harshly to Aaron. Instead, she often called him into the lab under the excuse of maintenance, though both of them knew the real reason. She wanted him nearby in case Lyra's energy grew unstable again. On the fourth evening after the shield test, Sarah asked Aaron to meet her privately in the observation room. When he arrived, she was studying Lyra's latest readings. The numbers glowed softly on the holographic screen. "She has been completely stable for 4 days," Sarah said. Her eyes adjust to light naturally now. "The energy spikes are gone." "That is good," Aaron said quietly. Sarah nodded. "Yes, but the council will soon notice the missing data. They expect a report on her condition. What will you tell them?" "The truth will put her in danger," Sarah said. "If they learn that a human is the cause, they will take her away for research." Aaron felt a heavy weight in his chest. "Then we lie." Sarah looked at him with surprise, then gave a slow nod. "We will say the new environment corrected her imbalance." "No mention of you?" "That sounds safer." She looked at him for a long moment. "You are risking your position, Aaron. If they find out you interfered with medical experiments, you will be sent away." He shrugged. "I do not care about the job. I only care that she's all right." Sarah's expression softened. "You speak like a parent," Aaron smiled sadly. "I am one." That night, Sarah filed the report as planned. The council accepted it without question. Lyra was cleared to leave the medical wing and attend normal classes again. When Aaron heard the news, he could not hide his happiness. The next morning, he saw Lyra walking through the courtyard for the first time. She wore a small visor to protect her sensitive eyes, but she walked confidently. Other students stared in surprise. The blind child could now see. When she noticed Aaron across the yard, she waved brightly. "Aaron, look, I can see the sky." He waved back, smiling. "You did it, Lyra." Sarah stood beside her, her usual calm face hiding quiet pride. "She will start her light control lessons next week," she told him. "Thank you again for everything." "You do not need to thank me," Aaron said. She did the hard part. As days passed, Lyra began to learn faster than anyone expected. She discovered she could not only see light but also shape it. When she focused, she could bend rays into soft colors and project small patterns in the air. The teachers were amazed by her progress. One afternoon, Aaron saw her in the training hall. She was forming glowing birds made of pure light that danced in circles. The younger students cheered. Sarah smiled proudly. "She was never broken," she whispered. Aaron nodded. She was waiting for the right kind of light. Life at the academy seemed peaceful again. But peace rarely lasted. A few nights later, while Aaron was cleaning the outer ring hallway, he found a data tablet left behind on a bench. It was marked with the council's insignia. Curious, he checked the screen. What he saw made his stomach twist. It was a report titled, "Observation Order, 72, Human Subject Interaction." The notes described plans to test human exposure to Celeran fields under controlled conditions. The subjects listed included maintenance worker Aaron D. Aaron closed the tablet quickly, his pulse racing. They knew. Someone had seen the shield logs or the medical footage. The secret was no longer safe. He hurried to find Sarah. When he reached her office, she was already waiting, holding the same kind of tablet. Her face was pale. "You saw the report too," she said. "Yes." "They are coming for me, aren't they?" Sarah nodded slowly. "They will question you tomorrow morning. They claim it is routine, but it is not. They want to know how your presence stabilized Lyra." Aaron took a deep breath. "If they find out the truth, they will take her away." "I will not allow that," Sarah said firmly. "But the council has power. We must be careful." Aaron thought for a moment. "Let me handle the questioning. I will tell them it was an accident. I will say I did not understand anything. They will not believe that," she said. "Then make them believe," Aaron replied. "Tell them humans are too weak to cause any effect. That will satisfy their pride." Sarah stared at him for a long time, then nodded. "It may work. They always underestimate your kind." The next morning, Aaron was summoned to the council chamber. The room was wide and bright, lined with glowing panels. 5 alien counselors sat on high seats, their eyes fixed on him. One spoke in a deep, echoing voice. "Human Aaron, you are under review for interference in a restricted experiment." "Explain your actions," Aaron stood calmly. "I am only a janitor. I was cleaning when I saw the child in pain. I touched her hand to comfort her. That is all." Another counselor leaned forward. "You caused an energy drop in the Celeran child's readings. Do you deny this?" "I do not know what that means," Aaron said honestly. "I only know that she stopped crying." The council exchanged glances. The leader finally said, "Very well. You will be kept under observation for a short time. Do not approach the Celeran child again without permission." Aaron nodded, hiding his relief. He had survived the questioning, but he knew it was not over. When he returned to the corridors, Sarah was waiting. "They are watching you now," she warned. "I expected that," he said. For the next few days, security drones followed his movements. He avoided Lyra's classroom and worked only in the lower decks. Yet every evening, when the halls grew quiet, a small light would flicker near the vents where he worked. It was Lyra's way of saying hello. He smiled every time he saw it. One evening, as he was finishing his shift, Sarah found him in the supply room. She looked uneasy. "They have requested a full scan of your biofield," she said. "They want to prove whether you are the cause of the stabilization." Aaron frowned. "If they find anything, they will take me away." "Yes," she said softly. "And they will take her too." He thought for a long moment. "Then we must find another way." Sarah nodded. "I have been working on something. There is an energy mask generator in the lab. It can hide your field signature. If you wear it during the scan, the readings will show nothing unusual." Aaron looked surprised. "You would risk your career for this?" She smiled faintly. "You risked yours for my daughter. It is only fair." That night, Sarah prepared the small device. It was a thin bracelet that emitted a steady field. When Aaron wore it, his energy signature changed to match an average human's. The next morning, he went through the scan. The machines beeped normally. The technician saw nothing strange. The report was closed without further questions. When he walked out of the lab, Sarah was waiting with a quiet smile. It worked. "They will stop watching now," Aaron sighed with relief. "Thank you." "You should rest for a while," she said. "Spend time with your daughter." "You have done enough for us," he smiled. "I think I will." A week later, Aaron took a short leave from work. He spent the days with Mina, walking by the river and watching the city lights. But even while he tried to relax, his thoughts often drifted to Lyra. When he returned to the academy, things had changed. Lyra had grown stronger. She no longer needed the visor and could walk under sunlight without pain. Students admired her gift. Teachers said she had perfect control over light patterns, but something else had changed too. She seemed quieter, thoughtful, as if she carried a secret. One afternoon she asked Sarah, "Mother, why do the counselors avoid Aaron now?" Sarah hesitated. "Because they fear what they do not understand." Lyra frowned. "But he helped me." "Yes, and that is why you must be careful. The council believes humans should not affect Solaran energy. If they see you together too often, they will question it again." Lyra looked down sadly. "That is not fair." Sarah placed a hand on her shoulder. "It rarely is, but we will protect him just as he protected you." That night, Lyra sat by her window watching the stars. She focused her power and shaped a small glowing bird of light. It flew through the air vents and down the hall until it reached the maintenance deck. There, Aaron looked up from his work and saw the bird land on his mop handle. He smiled. "Hello, little one." The bird shimmered and formed glowing words in the air. "Thank you." Aaron touched his chest and whispered, "You are welcome." At that same moment, far above in the council chamber, a silent alarm blinked. The system had detected an unusual energy signal matching human and Solaran resonance combined. The counselors looked at each other with cold eyes. "The connection still exists," the leader said. "We must find out why." The peace at Helios Academy was about to end again, and neither Aaron nor Sarah knew that a new danger was already watching from the shadows. The council's eyes were everywhere now. Unseen sensors and quiet surveillance drones roamed the corridors of Helios Academy. They looked for anomalies in energy fields, especially near the medical wing and the training halls. They did not yet know the full story, but they sensed a connection they could not explain. Aaron noticed the changes immediately. Fewer students passed him in the halls. Security drones lingered longer in his work areas. Even the cafeteria seemed quieter when he entered. He had never been so aware of his presence before. Sarah summoned him to a private room near the medical wing. She looked serious, her calm composure tighter than usual. "They have begun a secret investigation," she said quietly. "They are monitoring all energy fluctuations linked to the human factor." "That means you," Aaron nodded slowly. "Then we must be cautious. We cannot let them suspect Lyra or you." "Exactly," Sarah replied. "We have to teach Lyra to hide her energy from their scanners. She must act normal in public, or the council will intervene directly." The same evening, Aaron found Lyra practicing light control in her private room. She had learned to shape energy birds and small animals, but she did not yet understand how to hide her power. "Lyra," he said softly, "we need to practice something new tonight. Can you focus on controlling the light but make it invisible to scanners?" She tilted her head. "Invisible? Can I do that?" Aaron smiled. "We will try together. You are very strong now. You can learn faster than anyone here." She nodded determinedly. "I will do it." For hours they worked in silence. Aaron guided her to feel the energy within herself and keep it steady. He instructed her to shape the light without releasing it into the room. At first it was difficult. Lyra's glow slipped out as small flashes of color. Each time Aaron gently reminded her to slow down and imagine the light shrinking into her chest. By midnight, Lyra managed to hold the energy entirely inside. Her glowing lines dimmed and the room appeared normal to anyone passing by. Aaron could see the faintest shimmer, just enough for him to know she had succeeded. "You did it," he whispered, proud. "The council will see nothing." Lyra smiled, exhausted but happy. "I am not weak anymore." The next morning, the academy seemed calm again. Students and teachers moved through their routines, unaware that Aaron and Lyra had learned a secret skill that could change the balance of power at the school. Yet, the council's shadows were not idle. A hidden investigator, a tall humanoid with silver-black skin named Kalen, arrived at the academy. His task was to monitor energy fluctuations linked to humans and Celerans. His sensors detected unusual patterns near the maintenance decks and the medical wing. Kalen moved silently through the halls. He recorded every small energy spike, every subtle shift in light. He noticed the nighttime signals from Lyra's room. Though invisible to ordinary instruments, he could sense the unusual resonance. He paused outside her door and frowned. "There is something here," he muttered. "Not ordinary, not expected." Inside, Aaron and Lyra were practicing again. Aaron guided her through exercises that combined focus, breathing, and subtle energy shaping. "Good," he said. "Keep it steady now. Imagine the light inside you like a soft glow, not a flare." Lyra nodded, her small hands moving as if shaping the air itself. When Kalen moved closer with his hidden instruments, he felt a flicker of energy pass by. He could not pinpoint its source, but he sensed it was human-related. Meanwhile, Sarah worked to cover tracks in the medical reports. She had learned to adjust readings subtly so that the council would not suspect any irregularity. Yet she worried constantly. Kalen was meticulous and relentless. If he discovered the human connection, they could lose control of Lyra's future. One afternoon, Aaron was called to repair a ventilation unit in the upper wing. He noticed Kalen standing near the observation lab pretending to inspect machinery. The human instincts in him sensed danger. He quickly completed the work, careful not to attract attention. That evening, Aaron met Lyra in the courtyard. She had shaped small lights to float like fireflies around them. "Aaron, I think he is watching," she said quietly. "I feel it." Aaron frowned. "Then we must be more careful. Practice only in private. Do not release any energy in public." Lyra's face fell slightly, but she nodded. "I will listen." Over the next week, the training became more intense. Lyra had to learn not only to hide her energy, but to control it perfectly. Aaron guided her through exercises that tested patience, focus, and precision. Sometimes she struggled and her glow slipped out. Each time, Aaron gently corrected her, showing her how to feel the energy without letting it escape. Finally, one night, Lyra succeeded. Her power could now be completely hidden from any scanner, any observer except Aaron, who knew exactly how to feel it. "You are ready," Aaron said softly. "Now you are truly safe. Even Kalen cannot find you if you want to hide." Lyra smiled faintly. "I will not be afraid anymore." But the shadows of the council were growing bolder. Kalen had detected repeated anomalies and was determined to find the human who caused them. He visited the library and checked historical records. He discovered that humans were not known to interact with Solaran energy naturally, yet somewhere in the logs someone had done it. Kalen moved with patience and cunning. He began observing Aaron closely, noting every movement and contact with the maintenance areas. He did not yet know the full story, but he could feel the resonance. One night, Aaron sensed someone approaching the maintenance wing. He moved quietly and saw Kalen standing at the end of the hall, eyes scanning the energy flows. Aaron ducked behind a panel and waited. Kalen's sensors detected nothing at first, but then he paused. "Something is here," he muttered. His eyes narrowed. Not visible, but present. Human signature is hidden, but detectable. Aaron held his breath. He had never faced a threat like this before. Kalen was skilled and dangerous. Back in the courtyard, Lyra practiced subtle energy shaping under Sarah's supervision. She formed soft glowing animals that disappeared completely when she released them. Sarah smiled proudly. "You are ready," she said. "Now you can blend into normal life. No one will notice your gift unless you want them to see it." Lyra's small face glowed with determination. "I will not let anyone take my light away." As the days passed, Aaron, Sarah, and Lyra formed a careful routine. Aaron cleaned the academy quietly, always aware of Kalen's presence. Sarah adjusted medical scans and training records to hide Lyra's energy spikes. Lyra practiced self-control, learning to shield her power completely while in public. Yet tension built in the council chamber. Kalen reported repeated anomalies, but the main counselors could not explain the patterns. "There is a human involved," one counselor said sharply. "Find him," Kalen nodded. "I am working on it. The energy spikes are subtle, but they are there. Soon I will locate the source." Unknown to them, Aaron and Lyra were already planning contingencies. They had created a secret safe room within the academy, hidden behind a wall panel in the maintenance deck. It was shielded from sensors and could store energy safely. "Here," Aaron said one night, showing Lyra. "If anything happens, we can go here. You can practice safely and the council will see nothing unusual." Lyra's eyes widened. "It is perfect. No one can find us?" "Exactly," Aaron said. "It is our secret," Sarah added, "and I will cover anything you do. We must be patient. The council will not stop looking, but we will be ready." For a brief moment, they felt safe. Lyra shaped a small glowing bird in the room, letting it hover gently around her. The bird was invisible outside the shielded room, and Aaron could feel the warmth of the light through his hands. "You are growing stronger every day," Aaron said. "Soon you will not need to hide unless you want to." Lyra smiled softly. "I will be ready. I want to help others someday." Aaron nodded, proud of her courage. They all knew, however, that this was only the beginning. The council's eyes were relentless, and Kalen's patience was deadly. Above the academy, silent surveillance drones traced invisible paths across the rooftops. Kalen's voice came through a hidden comlink. "The human and the Celeran child are hiding something. I will uncover it. No one escapes the council's sight." Inside the academy, Aaron, Sarah, and Lyra continued their secret practice, unaware that the shadow hunting them was closer than ever. The war of light and shadows had begun, and Helios Academy would never be the same again. The council's eyes had grown sharp and focused. Kalen's investigation was nearly complete. He had traced unusual energy patterns to certain corridors, to the medical wing, and most notably to Aaron, the human janitor. The council demanded an immediate report on his activities. Inside the academy, Aaron felt the tension like a low hum in the air. He had prepared for this moment, but he knew that no preparation could replace courage. Sarah had briefed him. Lyra had trained to hide her energy entirely. They had the shielded room ready, but now the test would come in full view. That afternoon, the council summoned Aaron and Lyra to the observation hall. The room was wide, tall, and filled with soft, glowing lights. 5 counselors, each radiating authority, sat on high seats above them. Kalen was at the side, his sensors trained on every movement, every energy signature. Aaron led Lyra by the hand. Her small fingers curled tightly around his, giving him courage. She was calm but alert, her silver blue eyes reflecting light in ways that humans could not imagine. "Human Aaron," the lead counselor began, voice echoing across the hall. "You are here to explain unusual energy activity linked to the Celeran child, Lyra." Aaron nodded respectfully. "I am here to speak honestly, counselors. I am only a janitor. I saw a child in distress and I acted to help her. I did not understand the energy, but I tried to comfort her." Kalen's sensors flared. The counselors whispered among themselves. "Is it possible," one asked, "that a human could stabilize Celeran energy without training?" Aaron shook his head. "I do not know the science. I only know that she felt safe." Lyra looked up at him and whispered, "It is true. He helped me when no one else could." The counselors stared at the girl. She was calm and poised, though her eyes shimmered faintly. Then one of them spoke with a sharp edge. "We will conduct a demonstration. Show us the child's energy and how the human affects it." Aaron felt his heart tighten. Sarah had prepared for this. She stepped forward. Counselors, allow me to supervise the demonstration. I guarantee it will be controlled. They agreed reluctantly. The demonstration began in the observation chamber. Lyra stood in the center, her small body glowing faintly. The sensors detected her energy. She took a deep breath and focused. Slowly, the light spread outward, forming birds, flowers, and soft shapes in the air. The counselors leaned forward, astonished. Then Aaron stepped forward. He held his hands near Lyra, not touching, just presence close. The energy around her stabilized further. The glowing shapes expanded, brighter and more beautiful than ever. They moved gently, flowing like water, perfectly controlled. Kalen's sensors flared red. Impossible, he muttered. The human's field should be negligible. The lead counselor's eyes widened. Explain this human influence, Aaron bowed slightly. I do not know why it works. I only know that when I am near her, the light does not hurt. It flows calmly. Perhaps humans have something the Solaran body responds to naturally. That is all I can say. The counselors exchanged long glances. Some whispered quietly. Others leaned back in disbelief. Lyra's mother, Sarah, stepped forward. It is not an accident, she said firmly. Lyra's energy is special, and the human presence harmonizes with her. It is not harmful. It is in fact beneficial. The lead counselor's voice grew stern. And yet this violates protocols. We cannot allow uncontrolled human influence in Solaran development. Lyra spoke then, clearly and confidently. I choose who helps me. Aaron did not control me. He only helped me feel safe. That is all. A silence fell across the hall. The counselors looked at the girl in wonder. She was small but spoke with authority beyond her years. Her light shimmered softly, not in fear but in calm. Finally, the lead counselor leaned forward. Perhaps we have underestimated humans. Kalen's sensors still detected unusual patterns, but he could not deny what he saw. The energy flowed naturally. Lyra's control was perfect, and the human presence did not harm her. Sarah stepped closer to Aaron. Do you see? Your presence is part of her life. That is something no machine or scanner can replicate. The lead counselor raised his hand. We will allow the human to remain near the child under controlled circumstances. But the council will observe, and any misuse will not be tolerated. Aaron bowed. I understand and will follow your rules. Lyra smiled up at him. Her small hand reached out and he took it. The glowing light around her shimmered warmly. After the council left, Sarah pulled Aaron aside. You have changed everything. The council now sees humans differently. They will not underestimate your species as easily again. Aaron shook his head. I only wanted to help a child. Sarah smiled softly. Sometimes helping a child is enough to change the galaxy. From that day, life at the academy shifted. Lyra continued her studies, now free to practice her energy openly. Other students learned to respect her skill, and teachers watched her in amazement. Aaron was still the janitor, but he was also a guardian and mentor. Kalen remained at the academy observing quietly. He had learned something new. Humans, though physically weaker, could influence energy in ways no machine or alien science could predict. He reported to the council not with scorn but with acknowledgement. In the quiet hours, Aaron would still meet Lyra in the shielded room. They practiced together, shaping light and learning control. Sometimes they laughed as glowing animals darted around the room. Other times they sat quietly, feeling the warmth of the energy between them. One evening, Lyra looked at Aaron with bright eyes. I will help others like me one day. I want to teach them to control their light, Aaron smiled. And I will help you. Together we can make sure no one is afraid of their gifts. Sarah watched them from the doorway, proud and relieved. The secret of the child's true vision was safe, and the human janitor had earned respect that no council decision could remove. Months passed, and the academy flourished. Lyra's abilities became legendary, but she remained humble. She shared her knowledge with younger students, teaching them to understand and control their energy. Aaron continued his work quietly, always ready to step in if she needed him. One night, standing by the tall observation windows, Lyra looked at the stars. Her silver blue eyes reflected the countless lights above. Aaron stood beside her. You see them, she said softly. Yes, he replied. They are beautiful. I understand them now, she whispered. Not just with my eyes, but with my heart. And I will never forget the one who helped me see. Aaron smiled, a warmth spreading through him. I will never forget either, little one. For the first time in the galaxy, A human and a Solaran child had formed a bond that went beyond species, beyond rules, and beyond expectation. Together, they had shown that courage, kindness, and understanding could overcome fear and prejudice. The council had watched, the shadows had lingered, but the light of Lyra and the quiet strength of Aaron proved one truth above all. Humanity had a brilliance that could shine across the stars. Even in the most unexpected ways, Helios Academy was never the same again. And in every corner of the galaxy, those who underestimated humans would soon learn that the smallest acts of care could ripple into wonders beyond imagining. The child who was never blind, and the human who believed in her had changed everything.